Oh, it's saying live on Facebook on my end.
Yeah, it is. It's just that you can't see it. Like you'll see it in a minute. It'll pop up. Yeah, here we go. We're here. It is. It's just that you can't see it. Like you'll see it in a minute. It'll pop up. Yeah, here we go. Oh, all right. So, hold on. Let me get to where I can see you. I can see you. Okay, cool. Hi, everybody. Welcome to In Bed with Comics.
Yeah.
So, keeping with tradition of introducing the show, once upon a time, there were two comics that met and fell in love in where? In Brooklyn, New York, or Long Island?
Long Island.
On Long Island. They met and fell in love, and they had these beautiful dreams of being comics, and they've graced us on stages at the Color Pallet, Governors in the Lil Room, Clare Rose Playhouse, and soon to be wherever the coronavirus decides that we will be doing stand-up comedy.
That's true.
Claudia Bonavita and her wonderful husband, John Bonavita. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
That's
I'm
awesome.
so happy that we got this up and running because I was like, this isn't going to work. So, how are you guys doing?
We're doing
great.
good.
Doing great.
Although we miss comedy.
Yeah, really. It's killing me.
I know.
It really is.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like we all miss comedy, but in a way I find it, I feel like we kind of miss the connections with people, just being
I was going to say, yeah, just being with friends, with you and all the guys at Coasters and Belmore Bean and all the places.
Yeah, all the open mics. I hadn't really been going to a lot of open mics as of lately because I had just been so tired and just really busy with everything that I do. But I really do. I miss going out, and I miss being. I'll never take anything like that for granted ever again. I will never.
I won't take grocery shopping for granted.
Really?
Well, I kind of always took grocery shopping for granted because now it's not as fun as it used to be when I was 500 pounds.
That's true.
That is
very true.
Now I'm like, all right, I don't feel like eating today or tomorrow, so I'm just not going to buy anything. I'm just gonna put
you and me both, sister.
I'm so tired of eating. I'm so tired of food. Like the only thing I've been able to eat is like grilled cheese sandwich, dairy free. But Ezekiel bread, grilled cheese, and if I eat one more grilled cheese, I'm probably gonna vomit everywhere. So
I know.
So Jeff Bosey had said to me that he only wanted to watch the show if I had a ball gag, and I actually do have a ball gag. I don't know where. Oh yeah, this is that kind of show. I actually don't know where that goes. I have no idea, but I'm more than confident in my dominant skills that I could keep this in your mouth, Jeff. If you're watching, that I could keep
Jeff Bossy?
Jeff Bossy, yes.
Hey, Jeff.
That was another one. Hey, Charles.
Shout out to you.
That was another thing that I missed too, our improv class. I mean, that was
just we had two classes and then that was it.
And that was it. I just to have okay. So before I get into like the traditional questions of this show, when I first met you, Claudia, first.
Yep.
Meeting you, watching you do your comedy, and then all of a sudden, and your husband was always there. John was always there.
Yep.
How did it become a duo?
So, all right. So let me go back, way back, although it's not really that way back because it's a year ago, February, that I even started stand up. Okay. That's it.
And you've come quite a long way. You've really like rocked the house. You did.
Thank you. It's only been a year. So what happened was we had gone to a fundraiser and at Governor's, and I saw a pamphlet that said, stand-up comedy classes. And I recently retired. And I said to him, when I retire next year, this is what I'm going to do. So for Christmas, my daughter and my husband bought me the classes at Stand Up U with Rich Walker and with Peter Bales.
Two great guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So I learned so much. So I did their class. And then I started doing open mics, but I met you for the first time at Coasters, and you booked me the minute I met you. You ran over. And you were like,
I did. I know what I'm looking for.
Okay.
I don't waste time. I knew exactly what I knew. Exactly was right in front of me. I do that with a lot of comics. Like I'll meet somebody, and I'll watch them perform, and I'm like, I know that you're gonna fit somewhere. Like I know talent when I see it, and I was not wrong.
Thank you. And
And then how did you guys start doing it together as husband and
so
wife? I
what
mean,
we did it for a while, I did it for a while, and he came every time.
Yeah.
And people kept saying to him, "Are you going to go up? Are you going to go up?" And he's like, "No, no, no, no. This is her thing. I'm good." And I think it was Rich Walker had encouraged us. Why don't you guys try to do a comedy team? There's nothing like that.
there isn't.
Why don't you try taking a class together?
Yeah.
And I said to him, I go, it might be fun. We'll go and we'll take a class together.
Yeah.
And I think September, we took the class September, October, and I think part of November. And I forget how many classes there are, September into October, whatever. And we took the class together and performed. And then again, going open mics and perfecting and remembering, you're just memorizing.
It's flawless. I mean, I've seen you guys do it, and I know you guys, you have to, when you work with someone, you have to have chemistry. You have to have,
Well, that we have.
Yes, that you guys have, because we were talking before, and you guys have been married
years.
for a long time. As long as I've been on this earth,
So
you guys have been together.
Married 32 years next month, but we're together 38 years.
38 years, my God.
So you might not like the last question, the $1 million question at the end of the show. That might end that 32-year marriage. I doubt it, but if someone can answer that question, you
if
can
it hasn't
answer
now,
it.
it's not gonna.
No.
And we're locked in the same house together for all this time.
Yeah. So
In quarantine.
if we make it through this without her killing me, I'm good.
Or without him killing me.
If you guys haven't killed each other yet, I don't think it's going to happen, because at this point, it's like, I mean, I know there's a lot of couples out there that are struggling, but listen, turn the camera on. Couples are funny. When people fight, they fight over the most ridiculous stuff.
It gives us
craziest
great
banter.
material.
Oh, absolutely. And you better be recording all of this.
Oh, yeah.
Later on for material to be like, oh, what are we going to talk about? Oh, let's talk about the time we were locked in the house with the coronavirus. I mean, crazy. So let me get the first question.
Yeah.
All right. On a scale from 1 to 10, how much do you love stand-up comedy?
400.
400. Okay.
Me, not as much as her. I have to be honest with you. I get very nervous. I've been on stage a million times, but to do it, comedy is much harder than just being on stage. And but it's having a good partner. So I love it, but that's her thing.
I would love it if I used to get like shakably nervous, and there's like basically one comic out there that has ever been able to just be like, do your thing, get out there and do it. Like he's, always been there. Like we've done a lot of shows, and that was like the one calming thing that I had. I think I would feel more comfortable being out there with like a partner, to know that they're with me.
Yeah, we can, like, we've messed up a couple times, and I know what he's supposed to say, so I can like kind of cue him to it.
Yeah,
and then
she helps me out. She definitely helps me out. One time,
and vice versa.
Yes,
right.
Yeah, one time I just was like, what? Like I just got nervous. I don't know if the light was wrong or something, a bright light on me. I was like, I got all nervous, but she helped me out. She really did.
Yeah. The nerves are racking. Okay, so Claudia loves it. John on the fence.
Yeah, I love it, but not as much as I. Let me put it that way.
All right. Definitely. What is like a favorite set that you do that everybody loves? The one joke that you get where people are like, what is your favorite set at the like a certain club or whatever that you really nailed it? Is there any show that's memorable?
Oh, a show that's memorable? Yeah. We haven't performed that many times, but we did the Clare Rose Playhouse.
Clare Rose Playhouse was really.
It was January 4th, and it was just a really good crowd. We sold the place out. We had to turn people away, which you don't want to do, but it's cool that you had that many people.
Oh no, I would have immediately went live and been like, here, you guys can still get a ticket, watch from your car. Oh no.
I know. Yeah. Well, you can't, because it's not our theater to do that. And there's fire laws. But it was a great crowd. It was a lot of family and friends, and then just, other people, but it was a great crowd. That was a really great night and a great crowd. And we had a good time.
And the deal, when you have a good crowd and they're into it, it's so much more fun. It's great.
It's great. That's the one thing I find to be nerve-wracking as a comic. or even as a producer, because I have to stand back there and watch, because sometimes I don't do time. Because sometimes there'll be other comics that'll come and they'll be like, oh, can I do time? Can I do time? And I'll be like, all right. And I'll let them go up, and I just, just won't do time. And I have to sit there and I have to watch. And sometimes the crowd is just like, and it really just destroys everything. And like, I have to watch all the comics come back there. I mean, it's not really happened at one of my shows, because I usually tend to mix entertainment and put on, like, I know who I'm putting up there on stage, and I know who's going to be there. But sometimes you just don't know what type. I mean, I've seen people get into fights in audiences.
Wow.
Like one time I literally saw this couple get into a fight.
It was, I don't know, it was the Little Room one time. I was there at the Little Room at a show, and one of the comedians started they were getting heckled by a woman, and then it just got really bad. It got ugly.
Was that the famous cunt show?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I was there. I sat right there. That word vibrated through the entire Little Room, and everyone was like,
it was bad.
That was crazy.
But I have to, I know whose wife that was, and I have to really say that comic should not have said that. She did say something that was pretty offensive. Should we be calling out? But that sometimes can happen. When you're going to talk about a sensitive subject like 9/11, that really affects everybody.
The comic was hitting every inappropriate topic you could think of.
Right. And that's what I guess she felt. And she wasn't actually originally on the show. She just walked in out of nowhere. I don't know I don't even remember her name. She literally walked in at everybody, and she asked the producer, who's probably one of the sweetest producers you'll ever meet. And he just said, oh yeah, sure, you want to do time? No problem. I did time on that show that night too. I walked in. As soon as I walked in, oh, Kristen Tinsley, you want to do 5 minutes? All right, no problem. I'll do 5 minutes. So it was,
Yeah, she was extremely inappropriate. All she wanted was oohs, not laughs. Ooh.
Right. And sometimes it's, to me,
you're not looking for that.
No, I want people to laugh. I want people to have a good time. I don't know who's sitting in my audience, and you don't know how because I think that when people come out to a comedy show, they want to come out and they want to laugh because they're having a hard time in their life. So I don't want to bring up something like a death or something. You don't know. Somebody could be going out. They just lost their mother or child or something like that. And you're talking about all kinds of crazy stuff. A lot of people don't like to come to comedy shows because they don't know what's going to happen. They don't know. A lot of people also don't like to get picked on either.
Right.
And I'm like, I can almost guarantee you that no one's going to pick on you. Like, you're not that
It's true. It's true. People have that fear, but I have to tell you, most of the time, I don't remember anybody really getting on anybody in the audience. They may pick out somebody and have fun with them, but I never seen anybody be really.
You weren't there one night.
After somebody, yeah. You never.
I was not there one night. We had the night from hell out in the Hampton Bays, but now I just laugh because it was great. It was so funny. A friend of mine was performing and he totally forgot his act. But what happens is with comics, we know everybody's act and we know everybody's jokes. And after performing so many times with somebody, their jokes. So he was just so like, I don't know what I'm doing. So we're like, do the one about, and he was like, which one is that? My sister and I, who comes to all my shows, my sister was like yelling out, do the one about this. And she started doing the lines from it. He was like, oh, thank you.
Well, listen, I mean, sometimes I had that happen to me once. You would never know it. But I had that happen to me once when I was on stage, and I completely forgot because I was so pressured to remember my set. And when somebody puts that pressure on you, you forget.
That's why, like I said before,
crazy. Yeah. And it
before gets you nervous.
Because I don't get nervous now because now I'm just kind of like.
Yeah, but you're a pro. You're like really,
Your time has gone by, and yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been doing it that long, but it's just I've worked in the entertainment industry. I've done other stuff, so it's just kind of like, all right, and the camera's on, smiles, get out there. Whatever's gonna come out of your head, So, all right.
Exactly.
Next one question. What is your favorite comedy movie and the one scene that will always make you laugh?
Bridesmaids in the bathroom.
Oh.
Coming out of me like lava.
That was great. That's a good.
And then when she's walking across the street, it's happening, isn't it? Yes, it's happening.
That movie,
That whole scene.
that movie, I liked it, but I just kind of felt like it was so far-fetched. Like, this is not real life. Like,
Yeah.
Well, that's why I thought it was absolutely hysterical, because
right.
it was basically making fun of all the stuff leading up to a wedding and brides.
Wedding, yeah.
And
they
listen,
did that-
I know you're thinking it's far-fetched, but nowadays bridesmaids go for their bachelorette at, like, they go to the Dominican Republic. They go to, you know, the guys all go to Las Vegas. You're like, what the heck?
Yeah, if you're like 20-something years old.
I think I went to the diner or something with my bridesmaids.
Some are more extreme, but I have definitely heard, you know, that people go crazy. But in that scene, imagine doing that scene with no sound. Like, you're hearing the sound of them taking a crap later on when they put that in editing. But they actually had to act that out. Could you imagine being in a scene and having to act that out? With
All that gurgling, and it was hysterical.
Right, it was funny. What about you, John? What's your favorite comedy movie?
But the one I always think of is Something About Mary. When he gets his thing caught in the zipper.
Franks and beans.
I gotta be honest with you. I was crying laughing at that whole scene. That was great.
That whole movie. I lost the contact in that movie.
Yeah, I literally
lost the contact because I was laughing so hard that I was crying, and my contact fell out of my eye in the movie theater.
Oh my God. But that movie that I had a movie like that where it really got me rolling the whole time was Pineapple Express. I don't know if you've ever seen that. You have to see it. It's probably one of the greatest stoner movies of all time. And no, it's not one of the greatest stoner movies of all times, but it's definitely one of the funniest, where things just keep happening and happening and happening. And
that's awesome. We got to check it out.
You got to check it out. It's really fun.
So
now we got Corona. We got Corona
Netflix
quarantine,
time.
so we'll definitely look it up and watch it.
You have a favorite comedic actor that in any movie they're in you have to watch? Like, oh, I know this movie's going to be funny. Anybody, it could be anybody.
Well, comedy, I like Wanda Sykes, but her stand-up. Comedy movie that I have to see.
She was funny in Monster-in-Law. She was really funny in that Monster-in-Law. Fix your hair. You look like a cockatiel.
She's great. I just love her. I love her.
Well, for me, I mean, I love Eddie Murphy. If any of his movies come on, I just, I got to stand. I got to watch it.
Coming to America. That's true.
Funny. Trading Place. I mean, there's
Beverly Hills
Cop. They're all funny. I think he's great.
I saw Beverly Hills Cop when it first came out, when I was a little girl. I remember my stepdad took me to see that movie. I remember seeing it, and I didn't know what to think of it. I was young. I didn't really know what to think of it. But there's another one that he was in. What's the one? The Golden Child.
No, that was a horrible movie.
It was a horrible movie, but he was funny.
Horrible.
Yeah, but he was pretty funny in that.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, it was a bad movie.
I love him. I think he's the best. And I hear he's from Long Island. I don't know how true that is. Yeah,
he's from Roosevelt.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I'm not know how true it is.
Charlie grew up in Roosevelt.
Yeah.
The only reason I know is Howard Stern.
Oh Jesus, that's her guy. Excuse me.
Howard Stern is the god. I used to be late to high school listening to Howard Stern. I used to sit in my car and smoke cigarettes and drink coffee and be late to school because I needed to listen to Howard Stern. It was crazy.
She loves Howard.
I listened to Howard Stern in high school.
Oh my God.
That's how, yeah. NBC.
And he gets, it's one of those people that I mean, when I did Put Up, Shut Up, or Stand Up, which everybody saw that probably, I got to meet Jackie the Joke Man. I was actually happy. Yes, that's the only reason why I cared. Like, I was like, I need to go. I need to meet him. Like, there's been times when I've deliberately brought tickets to get on a show so I could be back. Like when Artie Lang was over at Governor's.
We saw Artie Lang.
Yep, I bought tickets. Mike Dillon was like, "Oh, can you do the show tonight?" And I was like, "Artie Lang's gonna be there." Yeah, sure, I'll come. I bought like 4 tickets because you know how he is. And I made sure I was back there, and I got to meet him. And it was, I love him. I think Artie Lang is probably one of the funniest things. If you ever get a chance to read his book, Too Fat to Fish.
Yeah, I read both. There's another one too.
I didn't read the second one. Oh, he did?
Yep.
I read
read
Too
both.
Fat to Fish and I was dying. It was one of the funniest things. I mean, my favorite comic of all time is definitely Adam Sandler, without a
Yeah,
doubt.
I saw
grew up
him
with
at
Adam.
Jones
At
Beach.
Jones Beach.
So
He was
we were there that
amazing.
night, remember? We were
Oh, that's
messaging each
right.
other like, "Oh,
That's
it's raining, it's gonna be canceled." That was probably that was definitely one of the best nights. I had a good time that night. That was a
Now
lot of fun.
we have tickets to Steve Martin and Martin Short. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
I had tickets for Martin Lawrence on Friday. I was gonna go see Martin Lawrence, and I am pissed. They said that they're gonna try to reschedule it, and I hope that they do. But I was so mad because when are you ever gonna see Martin Lawrence?
Really.
It's very rare. He does not come around a lot, and I spent a decent amount of money on tickets. You know, the seats were okay. It was gonna be at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, and
Okay, good. Yeah.
I was really upset. Because I wish that more of these comics would come around.
Another guy is great. He's great.
Yeah. When he did, I grew up watching those guys. Shanae, all those shows. Like I grew up watching all of that. And it's sad, but whatever. All right. If there was a comedy written about your life, who would play you? Say somebody decided we're gonna do this whole
Hopefully
life
someone with
finish.
pants, because he has no pants on and his leg is just like hanging out, so it's distracting me.
You can't see
No,
it.
but I can see it. And it's cute and sexy.
Well, mine will have to be Johnny Depp or maybe Tom Cruise. I'm not gonna. I don't know.
I could see that though. I could see that. I could see that. I could see. You know what? Johnny Depp and Winona Ryder. I could see it.
That's
if I had to pick.
I have no idea. I never thought of that.
Yeah,
I'm trying. I can't even think. Maybe maybe.
Okay,
hey, listen, it works. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Whatever you think that would be it. What do you? What point in your lives together? Because you guys have you've been together since you 14?
17.
I was 17.
I was 17. He was 24. What the hell my mother was thinking? Letting me go out with a 24-year-old man.
That's crazy. I know.
Hey, listen. 38 years later,
I did the right thing. So.
Yeah, but you see, I think back in that time, it was okay.
Well, he was friends with my mother before he knew me. They
and
did theater together.
Yeah. To me, age is I have a lot of I don't have a lot of young friends, but my friends that had daughters at like 18 are now 21. So I have this one friend, she's 21 years old, and she says, "Oh, I met this guy, he's in his 30s and he's really good to me." And I said, "Girl, listen, you could spend your entire life looking for a guy, but if you find that one guy that's going to treat you respectfully and you guys can grow together and make it last, that's
exactly."
Yeah,
it doesn't mean anything.
It's the truth. I mean,
sure.
And you were young. That was, I think.
But you guys were just dating. How old were you when you got married?
I was 23.
Yeah, and I was 30. 30.
No, 29.
29. I was 29.
Okay, well that's when you think of it that way, it's not.
We dated a while. We dated a long
6 years.
6 years. So
right
before we got married. Yeah, because I was still in school.
Yeah.
We got married the week before I graduated from college. The week before.
How many children do you have?
Week later. What?
How many children? You have 2 children, right?
2 kids. My son was born 7 minutes before our first year anniversary.
Oh, so you guys were getting busy. You guys were away.
You want to know the story? Kristen, here's the story. So I was a Met fan, and he was a Yankee fan. So he would be in the bedroom watching the Yankees, and I'd be in the living room watching the Mets. And after a while, I'm like, this is no way to have a marriage. I'll just become a Yankee fan. So I went in the bedroom to watch the Yankees, and my son was born.
Oh, hell no. Hell no, no way. Mets all the way. Sorry.
I'm a big Yankee fan. It's killing me with this Corona crap. No baseball. It's killing me.
Every single guy that I talk to on Plenty of Fish, they're just kind of like, "Oh, there's no sports, and I just like sports." And I'm like, "Sorry, what do you want me to tell you? It's awful."
It is.
Questions I got. All right, this is a fun question.
Got it.
Have you ever any total nightmare performances on stage?
Do we have any total nightmare
performance where you were cringing, hiding your face in the corner, like, please God, let them just wake up tomorrow in their bed with no memory of this ever happening?
I don't know about a cringe. There was
We made
one where I
mistakes.
went completely blank.
No, other people.
Oh,
Other
well,
people.
that night that you and I performed, and
Yeah.
that girl was extremely inappropriate. That to me was cringeworthy because she touched on things that really bother me. You know what I mean? I'm a special ed teacher, and she did some pretty inappropriate things. I'm not gonna say, but there was nothing funny about what she was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
what
was
about you, John?
cringeworthy.
With me, I remember seeing, I don't want to say names, but I saw a comic with Claudia that I was in the audience and I watched him.
I know what he's gonna say.
And honestly, I didn't think he was that good. And then
Not even that good. It was cringeworthy.
Yeah.
He couldn't remember his stuff. He just didn't have it that night. And it was just like, oh my God, please let this be over. Let it be over.
Yeah.
We saw him a month later.
A month later,
amazing.
A month later, I look at the, they have those posters.
Yeah.
That guy on the post, I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna be one of them nights. And he kicked ass. I was like,
honest to God, he was the best one on the show.
I was like, oh my God. So I guess, that was
we all have. You have a good day and then you have
a bad day. It can happen. It can happen.
I mean, he just he didn't remember things that the second time.
And
amazing.
Don't ask us when you see us in person, anybody who's watching this, who it is, because we won't
tell you.
I
won't tell you.
No,
he's a good guy. He's a good guy. So
my mother one time was in the audience and there was a comic. I think it was one of the first 2 shows I ever did. And my mother was in the audience, and my mother's like me. She has no filter. This guy was completely bombing, and she's like, oh my God, he's bombing. And it just vibrated throughout the whole room. And then I was like, oh my God. And my mother has, like I said, I'm Kristen Tinsley's mother. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh God, that's funny.
Like, Mom, I don't have that much, I don't have any fame. That's gonna get
no cred.
You're gonna get me in trouble, right? Like my mom.
Comedy cred, yeah.
Not yet. Definitely not yet.
That was funny.
Are you guys ready for the $1 million question?
Go ahead.
What is it?
Marriage ending question.
Okay.
Any comic, famous or non-comic, or famous or not, that you would take to bed?
Shit, yeah, we already have you don't think after 38 years we don't have a list?
I don't know about a comic, but we definitely have our
famous
whole
list.
Pass or whatever. We definitely have that.
So he's not a comic.
Okay.
But I would take Tony Danza to bed any second. Oh my God.
Tony Danza?
Tony Danza's my list.
She's in love.
Now he's old. I'm talking Who's the Boss days.
Oh yeah, I was about to say Who's the Boss days. I would have taken him to bed at that time.
Or Alan Alda from MASH days. Alan Alda from MASH days, not Parkinson's days, MASH days.
She loves Alan Alda.
What about you, John?
Wow.
I already know. Come on. Okay, tell you. Ball pass.
Oh, there's a couple.
She said ball pass.
No, go ahead.
I love Summer Hayek.
I knew it.
My God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think she's hotter than hot.
And Lord knows she's not a comedian.
Yeah, she's not a comedian. Comedian-wise, I don't know. I don't know.
Karen, Will and Grace. What's her face? Megan Mullally.
Megan Mullally from Will and Grace.
I would take Megan Mullally.
And that
she's so good though as an actress. I really look up to her.
I don't really like. There's not a lot of actors, but Orlando Bloom has always been the hottest thing. And this will surprise you, but Freddie Rodriguez. I love Freddie Rodriguez. He is so hot. I don't even care that he's short. When he put the makeup on the dead bodies and 6 Feet Under, woo, he was hot. Yeah, he was a hot guy.
Funny.
Most people can't get through that question. I think a lot of people, if they actually, when I start going further down, I can't wait to see what people say.
Yeah, I said, we have our hall passes.
We have a hall pass.
Yeah, but
because it's not going to happen.
Yeah, we would never. I mean, I would never. So
no, it wouldn't even be worth it. I mean, you guys are always together. It's hard. I can tell you from a single person point of view, it's very hard to find someone that actually goes along with what you want to do in your comedy career, because there's not a lot of people that do. And if you actually do date a comic or you're married to a comic, there's that level of jealousy. There's that level of things that happen that go on, and it sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So
That's true. Well,
that's always bad.
when we did shows together, as far as not comic shows, just like theater
Musical
and stuff,
theater.
it was kind of like my thing more than she did it, but it was my thing, and she let me do my thing, And now with the
As a matter
comic
of fact,
stuff, it was it's her thing. So.
when I was pregnant with my son, I stopped a rehearsal like Ricky and Lucy.
Right.
Stopped West Side Story.
Yeah, I
came
was
in and I go, tell him you got a break. And he's like, I'm in the middle of everybody's on stage. I go, tell him you got a break.
I'm directing the show, and she says, I got to talk to her. I'm like, Claudia, not now. I'm really busy. Stop. She goes, I have to talk to you.
I said,
and then,
guess what? I'm pregnant.
She told me she was pregnant. I was like, oh my God. I felt like Ricky Ricardo.
With I Love Lucy.
It was pretty funny.
Oh, that's sweet though.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that. It gives me inspiration because I know that somewhere along the lines, my chances of meeting somebody within the comedy world that I could actually date are pretty high, because there's all different types of comics out there. There's all different, most of them are single, and I just want to, I think it gives people hope because a lot of people will tell you right off the bat, don't get involved with comics, don't sleep with them, don't do stuff like that because sometimes it messes everything up. But you can't help who you love. So, and it's always good to have
nice that we like the same thing. You know what I mean? That we have common interests.
Yeah, that's good. That's
and
big.
you guys had your careers too. You guys had your own separate careers other than this, and now
true.
that's something you can enjoy. And now that you're retired, John, when are you retiring?
Next January. It's funny. I can retire today if I want to. I have the time, what they call it, and I have the age. But when anybody asks me, I always say 1 year or one bad day. You know what I mean? That's what I tell everybody.
Right.
1 year or one bad day, because I could retire tomorrow if I want to. But
Are you still going to work?
What's that?
Are you still going to work now, or?
Yeah, right now I'm on like a 3 day on, 3 day off.
6 days off. 3 days on, 6 days off.
So it's not too bad with this Corona. So, but probably a year. Definitely within the next year I'll be retiring.
So,
and then we're
Claudia,
gonna go
enjoy your time now.
But you know what? You are all stealing my thunder. I was supposed to be home alone by myself. I can't. And you think about it, I'm not working, but I can't go to the store. I can't go to a park. I can't go,
Well, you can. I mean, I go to the park every day because I can't sit in the house. I mean, I go to the park every day, but I don't get out of my car. I sit in my car. And it actually baffles me how many people I see outside. Just showing up, and the cops were outside, and the cops were, but they're sitting in parking lots. They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Right.
And I just kind of feel like the sooner people get that you need to stay home and you need to stop the spread, the faster we'll be out of this. But I see a lot of people exercising and running around or playing sports and stuff like that.
It's crazy.
Well,
guys playing basketball.
I was just gonna say, touching the basketball, and then somebody else is touching it.
Right, like they just don't care, and that's how you get it. I mean, that's how it's spread. And now they're saying it's airborne, and then you have people outside running, and they're breathing, and they're expelling sweat and fluids all over the place. So you kind of
scary. It really
have
is.
to be careful. And I don't know what it's going to be like going forward with comedy, because it's going to take a while before people want to pack together, especially in very small venues.
I know, and a lot of the places they're very small. There's a lot of people.
Touching the menus and drinking out of the glass. I mean, I really feel like this is, and it always should have, because there's definitely other viruses out there. I mean, I hadn't been sick for years and years until I started doing stand-up comedy, and I would be hugging and kissing people or touching them.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
It's it's a good community, and everybody does hug and kiss, and
you get a lip on.
And I gotta tell you, the only show I ever missed was I had pink eye, and I was the host. And I had to cancel because I can't grab the microphone and then hand it to a comic, and I had pink eye. I had it in both eyes.
Well, do you have a favorite producer?
Yeah. John Butera.
Yeah, John is good.
John Butera gets me a lot of work, and he's a great guy, and he's a great friend.
Yeah.
He really is. And everybody, Eric Weiss gave me a shot when I first started.
He was one of my first.
Ball rolling.
Well, no, actually, Stephen Rocco Perlo was the first person that ever really put me on a show.
Another great guy.
Another good guy. Yeah, really.
And then,
like I said, the comedian community
comedy
world. you got some really good people. I genuinely good people, which is nice.
I have to say, and people keep going, you will, but I haven't really met any jerks. I really haven't.
If you
Everybody's just been so
choose
nice.
not to, I have, but if you choose not to judge them that way and you keep it comedy and real life, it's when you get one of the best advice I ever got was from one of those producers. Don't hang out with other comics because that's what gets you in trouble. So if you, I mean, we all know the certain people that we can hang out with. You know, the people that can separate the comedy world from real life. And if you do that, then you'll be fine. But if you immerse yourself in it, where you guys are hanging out all the time, you're always doing shows together, you're always together, you're moving around all the time. That's where there could be that's where there could be some conflicts, and you just kind of have to judge people for how they present themselves to you. You know, because when I came into it, I wasn't really a very social person. I was dating a homeless guy that apparently everybody that went to the Monday open mic knew about it.
That's a joke in it. That just writes.
Oh, it was. It was a set that I did, but it was pretty embarrassing, and I almost left comedy because of it. I was so humiliated, and because I didn't know he was homeless, I had no idea. And he came at his face and told me he was homeless, and I was just like,
holy
and everybody else knew this. Like, he's sitting on the phone talking to me, lying and saying he's in his like big Massapequa house. Meanwhile, he's sitting at the bar. But
that's crazy.
Wow.
But I overcame that, and I'm glad that I didn't give up on comedy, and I'm glad that I stayed. But there definitely needs to be a separate. You definitely have to. There are some people who I have taken to be friends. That I know that I could call and be like, all right, let's go out to dinner, and we can go out and have a good time.
Right.
And then there's some people where, all right, if I see you, say hello and this and that. But to be honest with you, I haven't met anyone that's just so absolutely awful.
Yeah, I have to say, so far so good, really.
Yeah.
So far so good.
Never.
Thank God.
So thank God for that.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true. That's funny.
You guys have been excellent guests. I thank you very much for being on In Bed with Comics. I was really excited to have you guys.
Thanks for having us, Kristen.
This is great. It's fun.
Hopefully
and you guys
we'll be back.
Yep, it'll definitely, I'll definitely, I'm actually going to do the show 2 times a week. I think probably every Tuesday and Thursday, I think I'm going to go to.
That's awesome.
Because, there's so many comics out there, and why people have time in their home. I might as well just